How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone had a safe New Year's. I'm getting back to work on the EP3 Civic today, so let's get started. So the past few days I've been spending some time on the EP3 getting some of the carbon fiber parts cleaned up. So I did a really good clean and polish on the hood. It still needs some work, probably a really good wet sand and polish, and it's got some cracks here. They're not too serious. I think with a clear coat, if the next owner wanted to do a clear coat on that, that would hide them very well. So overall it's in very good shape. I found out that all the carbon fiber parts, the hood, the wing, and also the lip are all Seabond parts, so really good quality. The wing is in really good shape. It's got a really good shine on it still. I did a good polish on it, but there is one faded spot in the middle that needs a bit more work, but overall it's in really good shape. The wiring for the LED brake light was completely ripped off, so I had to resolder that, but it's all in good working order now. The front lip is in really rough shape though. Looking underneath it, you can see it's bottomed out quite a few times. There is a really big crack all the way through there, so it's going to need a full restoration on it. And then I got the engine covers here, which are actually Password JDM. So I'm really happy with the condition of those. I have all the carbon fiber parts listed for sale, and I actually have a guy coming this weekend. He wants to look at the hood and the front lip for sure. He showed some interest in the rear bumper as well. I cannot find online what kind of rear bumper this is. It almost looks like a Buddy Club rear bumper, but in all the bumpers that I've seen online, they don't have this cutout for the exhaust right here. It's the exact same style otherwise, but on the Buddy Club it goes all the way across and there's no cutout for the exhaust. So I'm having a hard time finding out what kind of bumper this is. I don't really want to list it for sale without knowing exactly what kind it is and kind of what the value is. So I'm still doing some research on that. But if we come over here today, I'm doing some work on the catalytic converter. So I got it removed and I have a guy coming today to pick it up actually. So I asked him if he wanted to buy the O2 sensors as well, and he said no. So I'm going to spend some time this morning just getting these O2 sensors out of here. I've been letting them sit with some penetrating fluid for a little bit, so hopefully that loosens them up a little bit. Also, if you remember when we removed the exhaust, we had to cut one of the bolts off, so that stud I'm going to have to drill out yet. But other than that, the cat's in really good shape. It's still all intact, and there's no rattles or anything like that, so it should work pretty good for him. I went and picked up a special socket for the O2 sensor as well, so that'll make removing them a bit easier. So hopefully it goes smoothly, but we'll wait and see. I'll let them sit for a little bit more and hopefully get them loosened up. So that's kind of just a quick update of where I am with the EP3 right now. Haven't sold any other parts yet. There is a lot of interest, but with it being the Christmas season, a lot of people are short on cash, so probably in the next few weeks I'm thinking there's going to be a lot more interest on the stuff. But I'm happy that at least we got one guy coming out today to pick up the cat, another guy coming this weekend for some carbon fiber parts. So we're starting to get the ball rolling, and it should only get better from there. So let's get into this catalytic converter. We'll see if we can get the O2 sensors removed, and then we'll see what the day brings. I got a day off today, so we'll see how far we get. Alright guys, well that went a lot smoother than I thought it would. I've never had that much luck with O2 sensors. And I've actually never had an O2 sensor tool before to remove them, so that's probably my issue. I've had so many times in the past where all you can fit in there is a wrench or something like that, and it just ends up rounding them off and there's no way to get them out. So yesterday I picked up this tool. It's a 7/8 inch O2 sensor with a 3/8 drive. It was 15 bucks a Canadian Tire. Probably one of the best investments I could have made, because it saved me a lot of headache, and I got that done in record time. So O2 sensors are out. I got that stud drilled out pretty easily. Yeah, the Cat is ready to go. I think what I want to do next is get this bumper off of here. So I'm gonna get to work on that, as well as the side skirts, because I think they might be aftermarket as well. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that, but I want to at least get those parts off of there, and probably the tail lights, because they're in really good shape as well. And then maybe even this headlight, if I do a bit of a polish on it, I might still be able to save this one. You can see it's pretty faded right now, but I think with a bit of a polish I might be able to have that one looking brand new again. This one unfortunately is cracked pretty bad from the collision, so there won't be any saving that one, but at least I have a driver's side if anyone needs it, and then we'll just keep going from there. Alright guys, well, that polish job that I did on the headlight didn't do a whole lot. It is a good kit that I was using. I've used it many times and haven't had a problem, but this headlight is in such rough shape. It's going to take a lot more work to get it nice and shiny and get that fade out of there. So I'm thinking I'm just going to leave it as is for right now. It's not really worth my time to put that much effort into it to get it looking new again, because I'm only going to get a couple of bucks for it anyway. So I think I'm just going to move on to the next thing, which is the rear bumper. So in order to get the bumper off, I think I'm going to have to take the taillights off first.
You could not be more wrong.
And then there's 2 bolts holding it on up top, one on each side, and then probably some more stuff from underneath. So I'm just going to tear into this. We'll get that all done, and then we'll move on to the side skirts, and then we should have a good collection of parts again that we can post for sale.
A few moments later.
So I'm working on these taillights first, so I'm in the middle of removing the bulbs. But as I'm working back here, I'm realizing how bad it smells in the car. It smells a lot like mice, so I'm guessing from the car sitting so long that it's got some rodent damage to it as well. So I may want to get these seats out of here as soon as possible, because I do want to save those for the Frankenstein Civic, and I just don't want them to smell like mice. So if I can get them out of here, maybe I'll bring them inside and get them washed, and then try and keep them away from my cat, because she's probably going to scratch them to pieces. But yeah, I might remove those yet today too. But let's get started on this first, and then we'll see where we get. Alright guys, well, I got the driver's side taillight off, and I made a bit of a mistake because I wasn't 100% sure on how to remove it. So there was the 3 8mm nuts, which I removed from the studs, and then normally it would just pop out, or there would be clips holding it in place. So I pulled on it fairly hard, thinking that there were clips holding it in place and it just needed some extra force.
That's not how the Force works.
But apparently, if you look here, it's actually bolted from underneath, so you got to take the bumper off before you can take the taillights off. So I ended up cracking this piece off. I'm going to try gluing it back on, but I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work anymore or not. But I am going to try it and see if it holds. So I'm going to attempt to remove the passenger side now, but before I do that, obviously I'm going to remove the bumper. So I guess I'm going to do the bumper next, I'm actually thinking about making a how-to video on how to remove the taillights as well, because I couldn't find a whole lot online, and I want to make sure that if someone else wants to remove their taillights, they can do it without making the same mistake that I made. So I think I'm gonna get to work on the passenger side. I'll make a quick how-to video on that, and then I'll remove the bumper at the same time. So I gotta remove the bumper first anyway, so I'll start with that, and then we'll get that other taillight out of there, hopefully without breaking it. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so as I was working on the EP3 here, I was just finishing up getting the seats out of there, and I got a message from the guy who wanted to buy the Cat, and apparently he couldn't make it out, so he wanted me to deliver it. So I told him for a little bit extra I could deliver it for him, so that took a bit of time. So that's gonna about wrap it up for today. I feel like I got quite a bit accomplished though. I got the side skirts off, the rear bumper is off, the seats are out, taillights are off, and I did manage to get the other taillight fixed. I brought it inside, I cleaned it up, and used some epoxy on it, and the plastic piece kind of snapped back into place, and it was actually already pretty solid without the epoxy. So I epoxied it on there, and it's setting right now. So once it's fully cured, it should be good and solid, and it'll be just as good as it was new. So I'm pretty happy with that. I should be able to sell them, and someone can make use of them. But right now I'm actually waiting for a guy. He's gonna come by this evening yet. I've been renting out the engine hoist to him. He had a bit of a project that he had to deal with, so he's been borrowing the engine hoist, but he wants to come by and drop it off. I guess he's done with it, so I'm gonna have to meet up with him yet. So that's gonna about wrap it up for today. But thanks everyone for watching. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give me a like button if you like the video, you like the content we're putting out, and we'll see you next time.